Alright, sorry for the delay in making the video here. Had a few things I wanted to get done before I could move forward on finishing up the upgrades to the truck. One of which was a stand-up work table. Really helps for my bad back. This will make working on my RC projects a lot easier, and other projects as well. Alright, so the last time I left off here, I had some links, but they were the wrong ones. So I reordered some GPM links for the LMT 2.0, the Losi monster truck, and these ones worked out perfect. Really nice quality. They fit, you know, exactly like they're supposed to fit, and if you want, you can do the single shock. Okay, anyways, so we got that already installed, ready to go. I got to put the front end back on. Got spare parts now. I've got ball end things for the original link bars. So if I ever bend these, I've got replacement OEM link bars I can use, and have plenty of replacement bar ends that usually break. These are the weak point on those. So I've got a couple of those. More body buttons, these little things here I've heard and seen in other videos where they get kind of lost if you kind of bash them up a little bit. So I got some of those. I've got upper and lower link, or excuse me, upper and lower shock absorber mounts to replace in case any of these break, especially sometimes these ones will break. So I've got replacements for that. If any of these drive shaft output, little half shafts here, I've got several of those. Oh, these are the rear ones here, because they just go straight through to a dog bone inside. These ones are steerable ones for the front end, so if I break any front end steering spindles, I've got a couple of sets of those. Excuse me, I got 3 sets of those, because I've heard they're or seen in videos where that's, you know, a weak point if you're doing any jumps and you land straight down on something. What else we got? Oh, these are the lower mounts for that, and the upper mounts for the link bars, so that's another weak spot. And another one of those. And oh, I've got these 3 different torsion bars for the anti-sway bar. So if I don't find this one to my liking, I've got 3 different choices, or at least 2 different choices. I think one of these is standard, and then the other 2, one is stiffer and one is looser. So anyways, it's just the sway bar tuning kit. So I got that. And I've got these here. These are actually antenna whips, but they're going to be used back here for my little flag. This one here, I'm going to take this off of this and put it on one of these smaller ones here, and that should be about perfect size for a stock little Jolly Roger flag. Alright, so that's that. And I've already added lights to this. I'm in the final phasing of the cockpit lights, but I have undercarriage lights going right now, and those look like this. Oh, and these are from an Axial SC10-3. At least that's the ones they were designed for, but they're just dual light for each light output bar instead of 4 lights or 2. They're bright enough. There we go. I'm using green. I've also got these ones in here. Like that. I need to reduce the lights a little bit. Like that. There you go. So that. And I've got to make a steering wheel and dashboard. Turn this back on. But I'm going to make a dashboard and a steering wheel for him to grab onto. So I've got the steering wheel possibly right here. And it's about the right size. It's got to cut out 3 slots for like it's a stamped piece of aluminum, and then paint it silver. So I just got to do that and make a steering column for it and a flat dashboard. And the last bit will be I've got a seat cut out of aluminum, so that's just masking tape for the pattern. Anyways, attach that to this rubber back pad here, and voila, you got a seat. I just got to bend these for the rib cage supports, and then these here for the side thigh supports. So that'll be that. I was redoing the shocks, tuning them up with different oil and springs, and in the process of doing that, ruined two of the O-ring seals. I mean, it's like two super thin, like 0.5 millimeter thick. See if I can pull one of these off. There, you might be able to see it right in there. See, that's got missing that little chunk right there. Anyway, so I'm putting the dang thing back on and tore a chunk out of 2 of them. And I've already got the rebuild kits on order. They've been on order for a month, but they're not expected in from China until December of this year. So sometime the end of the year, the rebuild kits will show up on the North American continent, and I can rebuild those, and I'll have some functional shocks for another project. So in the meantime, and since just getting any parts for them on the shocks is really difficult, takes a long time, so I just did what I should have done, which was order aftermarket set of shocks, and those arrived today. So alright, so this is the GPM LMT 2.0 shocks. These are the green anodized. First time I've seen them, straight from China. That go there. Ta-da! GPM. These are LMT 2130134FR-G. And these are for the Losi LMT 2.0 Gravedigger. And they're the same length shock absorber, same mount size and everything like that. The difference, I guess, physically is the shaft. They increase the diameter of the shaft from 3.5 millimeters to 4 millimeters. And what else do they do here? Oh, the shock springs in these are 0.8 millimeters instead of 0.7 millimeters. So a little thicker on the springs and a little bit thicker on the shock shafts themselves. So that one's got a spring in it. Spring. Okay, no spring. No spring. And no spring. No spring. Alright, and they do give a couple extra shocks, like I said, in case you want to add shocks to the unsprung damper shocks. And they give the little guides that you can attach to the top of the piston, so the springs won't rub against the sides of the inside of the tubing shock case. And it's got extra seals, so that's nice. O-rings and everything. Very nice. So let me try it again. Temporary. release this main light here. Okay, see everything. And the lights under here. I'm going to pull this off temporary. Over here's that light, two of them. And then on the back side, there's another two of them in there. So it's not going to be totally scaled, but it'll, you know, I want it to look good. Speaking of which, I did paint the gas can in there. Got to put one more coat of green on the bottom, because the bottom of the tank, you can see it right there where my thumb's poking. Bottom of the tank is green, but the top of the tank is just natural plastic. Semi-clear, not clear at all, but semi-translucent. For the fuel cell, or fuel tank. Oh, added ESS, it was a Dual Plus engine sound simulator. And they've got the monster truck sound, engine sounds in there. Worked really good on my TRX4, so I got that in here now. That's about it. Alright, that's the update for now. The next time you see it, I'll have all this stuff put back in the car or back on the truck. Oh, and I got the travel emitter straps installed on the back. I've got the set on the front over here. An assortment of them, different sizes or different length straps here, so that I can mix and match and get the right length to match it up with one of these. Okay, one last thing that I meant to test, actually just thought about right after I turned the camera off. These are meant to be a direct replacement for the stock shock absorbers, and they never mentioned one thing about it, is whether or not the faux reservoirs, camel packs, whatever you want to call them, whether or not these are the same diameter. Seem kind of like it, but I'm not sure. They pretty much are, yep. So I'm going to be doing some kind of modification to these to where they won't move. They'll sit stationary like they're supposed to. And that'll be a simple matter of probably putting a dollop of shoe goo right where that nipple is supposed to mount into that cap. Anyways, I'm going to figure out how to just, like I said, glue these temporarily, dollop of shoe glue. That should hold them in place. And maybe even a dollop on there and there, just to extra keep it kind of in where it's supposed to be. So anyways, if you're wondering about the GPM LMT 2.0 shocks, they do work. This is the one with the spring in it. They do work with the faux reservoirs. Same size as the original shock absorbers. So when you mount them in there, yeah, they'll look like they're supposed to. Look like pretty much stock, except for GPM branding and the nice anodized colors, should you choose anodized. The other thing I forgot to mention when I was talking about painting the tank to be a little more, realistic-ish, is I also painted the exhaust headers here. Just a standard metallic flake or metallic silver spray paint, and kind of adds a little bit of better, I don't want to say realism, but that's what they look like. So, all right, that was that. All right, later.